Hello and a warm welcome to all of you. This is our first session for the year of 2022. So I would like to take this opportunity to wish all of you a very, very happy new year. Do any of you feel your family and friends don't understand your passions or your business? How do you get over the fear of judgment by others, especially from your family? This is such a common question, especially from those of us following a different path than our families and friends. How do you get over the fear of being judged by others so you can stay true to yourself? Joining us today from Mumbai is Sister Shreya. Sister Shreya has been associated with the Brahma Kumaris for over 12 years and is the faculty member. She has been featured on numerous talk shows on Peace of Mind channel and YouTube, focusing on value education, life skills, and the practice of meditation. So let us all welcome Sister Shreya.
Om Shanti. Thank you, sister. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you for joining us today.
It's wonderful to be with all of you and to know that it's the first session of the year. That's even more special.
Yes. Over to you now, Sister.
Thank you. Om Shanti. And good evening, good morning, because I guess there are many joining from different parts of the world. And also, Happy New Year. So this is the first session and a very important, relevant session, something very difficult to do also because, like Sister Zabine was saying, that it's important to stay true to ourselves. And at the same time, we're so influenced by our peer, by the society, by the people around us. And, this constant fear of being judged by other people. And today we're going to go deeper into it and reflect. And it can be very, very suffocating, I feel. Personally, this topic is also very close to my heart because it takes a while to even understand that why are we constantly looking for approval? Why are we constantly wanting people to like us, to approve of us, to appreciate us? And in the process, we're just living our lives their way so many times. Even the simple things like the way we dress, what we eat, what we do, our decisions in life. And sometimes it can go all wrong. And there sometimes comes even a moment in our life where everybody outside kind of likes us, accepts us, is fond of us. People appreciate and say they're very helpful, they're very kind, they're very compassionate. But inside, sometimes we're kind of suffocating because we're not living life the way we want. So we're doing things and we're doing it for other people and we're making sacrifices and compromises and everything. And then when we sit in silence, sometimes we feel that I'm feeling very lonely or empty or not complete. And then comes a moment where I start wondering what's exactly happening. So let's begin from a very, very basic example. Like even when we are dressing, sometimes, we have to go for a party and we open our wardrobe and we are picking up, we're choosing what to wear. And so many times a thought will run through my mind, which is the one that other people will like more? How many times do we just dress up for ourselves? There's so many times when we are thinking in our mind whether we're going to office or to a party that whether this will be liked or not. Because what happens is, for example, I wear a dress and then I go to a party and then I am waiting for somebody to say something because when they say something, when they appreciate or say anything, it makes me feel good. So, very subtly, if you realize what I'm looking for, even more than the appreciation, is to feel good. I'm not feeling very good on my own. So, I look for a stimulant. And appreciation from other people can be a very strong a very addictive stimulant. So actually, the dress that I'm wearing has absolutely no feelings. How can a dress give you happiness or sorrow? The dress is matter, and matter has no feelings. But I wear something and I wait for somebody to say something. And if somebody comes and says, "Oh, you're looking very nice, you're looking very pretty, this color really suits you, this jewelry that you're wearing is very unique, it's very rare," and every statement of theirs becomes a stimulant for me to think something here in my mind. It's not their statement which is giving me happiness. Again, that happiness, that feeling I have to create within, whether misery, whether sorrow, whether hurt, whether happiness, is something that I have to create within. But because I'm not able to think right, or I'm not able to create happy thoughts on my own, I need a stimulant. And this is a perfect stimulant where people appreciate. And the moment they say, "You're looking very nice," then, I'm doing this, I'm creating this, but then over a period of time, it feels like very natural. It's more like automatic, everything is happening, but it's not automatic. We do it consciously for a while, and then it becomes a habit, so we don't realize. And then my mind creates a thought, "Oh, I'm looking nice. Oh, this color suits me. I'm looking wonderful. I made so much effort to buy this dress. I'm so glad everybody likes it. I'm so glad it's suiting me." So my every thought then starts to create that feeling of happiness. And happiness is something which is food for my mind, just like I need food for my body. We need happiness. We can't live without peace and happiness. We want it, we crave it. And when we are not able to create it on our own, actually, happiness is a state of mind. But when we are not able to create it on our own, we're all the time looking for this stimulant. But what is the risky part? The very risky part is that if I am using this stimulant to feel good, then I am always in a state of fear. Because if people appreciate, I feel good. But if my feeling good is dependent on what you say about me, then I'm also constantly in fear that you might criticize me. And then one walks in the party who comes up to me and says, "What are you wearing? This is not looking nice on you. This color is not suiting you." And that's it. Now that stimulant is enough to make me go all low. And that's where the mind plays these tricks. And then they are probably just giving their feedback. A lot of times people are not even, we think they are hurting us or insulting us or they were being disrespectful. Actually, there are times when people are just giving back their feedback, just, plain saying that, "I don't think this color suits you." But we take it very personally because our happiness is dependent on that. It's a big gamble. And then we're like, what do they think of themselves? I mean, do they know how they are looking? Have they seen their own dressing sense? That's how my mind starts to go. And the dress is still there. Again, matter, not giving happiness, not giving sorrow. But now the quality of thoughts in my mind has changed. And the quality now is negative. And the quality now is for the other people. What do they think of themselves? How can they say like this? How can they say like this in front of so many people? What do they know about the dressing sense? I brought it from the best designer. And every single thought, the quality for which is very negative or critical, it just brings down my happiness. And so, somewhere down the line, I feel that I will only be happy when everybody likes me, when everybody appreciates me, when anything that I'm wearing, people will like it. And this is very simple, very basic, but just think of it. Is it even possible that what I am wearing, everybody will like it? Like, how is it even possible? We are different. And when we are different, our choices are going to be different. So, for example, I like white. That doesn't mean that you don't. You will also have to like white, and it doesn't mean that if you don't like white, you don't like me. That's where we confuse it. So you may not like the white color, but it doesn't mean that you don't like me. But I start identifying with what I am wearing to an extent that when you give your feedback for my dress, when you say this color is not looking nice, I take it so personally, as if you've insulted me, as if you were telling me that you don't like me. But no, there is that separation between what I'm wearing and who I am. And and just to think of it, whatever I wear, who is supposed to like it? Who is supposed to like it? Just one person. That is me. The color, the dress, the material, if I am comfortable, if I like it, that's it. And if I want other people to like it, the next time when I go shopping, I should take them along because their appreciation or their approval is more important than what I am comfortable in, then I should take them along. But no, and how many people will we take along? There's so many people who, may not be comfortable in something, but are just wearing because the world approves of it. And I won't go into details, but you have seen the fashions and everything that come, and sometimes you wonder how did it even begin? Like sometimes, uh, there could be some things which few years back would have been considered like ripped jeans. You would think, okay, probably they don't have enough money to buy that, but today it's common, it's approved, it's fashion. So mothers would come and say that youngsters, they make an effort to tear off their jeans because that's approved of. And it's okay if I like that. It's okay if I'm comfortable that. It's okay if I feel good in that. But so many times we're just doing it because others like it. And that becomes a very, very strong dependency. And it's very risky. Why it is very risky is because then I don't even stop and judge what is right for me. And then that sometimes can lead me uh, to being unethical. Sometimes, actually, most of the times, because then I want to just make sure that you are happy with me. For example, I go to a party and there's so many people who come up to me and say, we don't like drinking. We don't even want to drink. But all the friends force and we're in the group, and how can we say no? And just ask yourself, what will happen if we say no to something? We have to kind of delve deeper into it. What will happen if we say no? And why are we so afraid if we say no to something that we don't believe in? If we believe and we want to do it, that's perfectly all right. We're not even here talking whether it's ethical or moral or not. Just simple, I don't want to do it, then why am I doing it? Because if I say no, then there might be somebody who would call me boring. There might be somebody who might just reject me. The fear that I may not be invited to this party again, the fear that people will make fun of me. But have you ever thought that anything that I do today, whether I do it under the pressure of people around me, my friends, anything that I choose to do today, I will have to face the consequences. Newton's third law, every action has equal and opposite reaction. What I sow today will I is something that I'm going to reap tomorrow. So if I choose to drink under any circumstances or under any pressure, I am choosing it. And tomorrow, if there is a health condition or there is any health problem, I will have to face the consequence. That time I cannot say, but this one asked me and that one asked me. Am I ready to face the consequences? And will those people be there to face the consequences with me? And just ask yourself that friends are supposed to be people who are supposed to accept me the way I am. At least one relationship. There's so many other relationships which we can't choose. But friends is one relationship that we consciously choose. And we want to be around those people, those friends who accept us the way we are, not the way they want us to be. And even in that one relationship, if we are not accepted the way we are, what we want to do, then what kind of friendship is that? Rather, Those friends should be one who are willing to support us when we want to move in the right direction, when we want to leave something which is not good. But let me tell you that every time, even when you try something like that, they will not be very happy because their own comfort zone breaks. They're very comfortable, somewhere they know what they're doing is wrong. It's just more comfortable if everybody around me is also doing that. And then when even one steps out and puts down their foot that I don't want to do it, the comfort zone of other people breaks. It could be with anything, leaving drinking, becoming a little more spiritual. People don't like it. They're used to you being there and sitting with them and gossiping with them, and suddenly if you are attending spiritual class, they're like, this is not the age, this is not for you, this is after 60 or something. And but we all know that what's the point of even understanding about life after 60 when most of the life is already past. It's now that we understand spirituality. It's like you learn about it before giving the exam, before facing the challenges of life. Now we have challenge after challenge after challenge, and we need to know what to think, what to decide, what course to take. So, spirituality is nothing but understanding the truth and then developing the power to move on the path of truth. So, this constant fear of being judged by other people, we have to tell ourselves that I have to do right. I have to do what is right because I have to face the consequences. And there are times, there is quite a possibility, there are times that you're the only one standing in this direction and there's everybody, the whole world standing in the other direction. But that doesn't mean that, in today's world, normally you see three kind of things. A lot of people doing what other people are doing, to please them. That's the first thing. I am doing something that I don't believe in, but I know if I do this, people will be pleased. They will accept me and they will like me and they will appreciate me. So I choose to do that. That's one. The second is that I do what the majority is doing. But even what the majority is doing may not be always right. Even what the majority is doing may not always be right. And we'll just take few examples. And third could be I do what I feel is right, what is my desire, but sometimes that may also not be correct because under the influence of ego, I may think something to be right, but it may be my desire. And even to know what is right, we need clean intellect and we need spiritual knowledge. For example, in the world, people will tell you tit for tat, you know, if somebody says something to you, don't keep quiet because if you keep quiet, they will take you for granted. They will walk all over you. So if somebody says something, you give them an answer back. That's how it is, tit for tat. In Hindi, we call it eat ka jawab patthar se. So if somebody throws a brick at you, you throw back a stone at them. And it's like if somebody is is saying something which is not nice, is getting angry or insulting or is being rude, then it's like don't stay silent, but give them back. But have you ever thought for a moment also that when you give it back to them, what's the difference between you and them? So you received negative energy from somewhere, and somebody's rude or somebody's insulting or somebody's angry with you. The words that they say to you are not very nice. So what comes from there is negative energy. And here you're standing, and you as an individual has a power to decide what you want to do. So there's three things that you can do. There is first a lot of negative energy that comes from that direction, and you just absorb it. You absorb all of it. For example, there's somebody there who says, you're no good, you're worthless. And you just absorb that energy. That means you start thinking negative about yourself. I am worthless, I'm no good, I do so much for them, yet they don't value me. I don't know what more to do. I don't know how to please them. I don't know what now to do for them. So I just absorb that negative energy. That's one option. And some of us go into that negative thinking. We just need one statement from somebody. Just imagine, sometimes people hold so much power over us. We're so emotionally weak at times that they just need to say one line and we accept it, start identifying with it, repeat it 100 times in our minds, and just make it the truth, not even reflecting whether what they're saying is even the truth or not. Just one line. And it's like they say something is more like a scratch, just a scratch. And then I repeat it multiple times in my mind and I create a wound. But I have created that wound. But you ask anybody, why are you upset? Why are you sulking? Why are you feeling like this? And we will never say that, oh, I've been thinking negative since morning and that is the reason that I feel like this. No, the finger always points out to the other person. They said this to me, but I had the power to choose how much to accept and how many times to repeat. They said what they felt was right for them. They said something because maybe they were not in a very happy mood. They said something because their stage was weak. We always have to remember that people, when they are unhappy, they're just going to spread unhappiness. They can't spread happiness. If I am upset, that what I'm going to radiate is negative energy. I can't be upset and spread happiness. That will not happen. So there's somebody in front of me who is upset or who's sad. They're going to just spread sorrow. How much I have to accept is my choice. So one is I can absorb all of it. That's one option. That's most people do. And usually the ones who are very low self-respect. So somebody is disrespecting you, but then you then decide to disrespect yourself through the day. It's self-abuse. When you go like this, oh, I'm like this, I'm worthless, I'm useless, I'm stressed all day, I can't do anything, I can't do anything, I'm no good. Disrespecting yourself, disrespecting. Whatever they're saying is their choice, but how can I disrespect myself so much? I need to have compassion for myself because this is how I deplete all my energy. I deplete all my energy. We need only one person to be nice to ourselves, and that is us. We need to be very kind to ourselves. And every thought that we create in our mind has to be very high quality. And when every thought is very high quality, then I'm not even worried about what other people say. Of course, what they say matters, but I take the feedback. I don't take their energy. There's a huge difference. When you say something to me like you have a very big ego, then I just stop and I reflect and I see that whether what they're saying is truth or not, but I don't take their negative energy. There's a huge difference between feedback and criticism. It's completely okay to give feedback and it's completely okay to take feedback. What is feedback? When something about you, I I have to give you a feedback, but whatever it is hasn't disturbed me. For example, uh, the dress also. I have to say something about your dress that maybe this color is not looking nice or something. But that thing has not upset me or disturbed me. I'm completely okay. I have a lot of good feelings for you. My intention is very pure, and with a lot of pure intention, and I come and say something in one line that you need to sit properly, or you need to wear this, or I think this is better for you. The advice is always in one line, and the intent is very, very pure. But what happens in criticism? Criticism, there's already a lot of negative thoughts in my mind. I see a habit of yours, and that habit has already influenced me. It could be you're coming late or you're not keeping your room clean. There's something which has already disturbed me. And then when I come to you, it's not a feedback, that it might be one line and it might be said very sweetly, but I have already thrown a lot of negative energy at you. And then you are kind of depth to that advice because you've already received so much negative energy that you can't hear the advice anymore. So criticism is when I'm disturbed or I'm upset with it. People are very sensitive to our feelings. What reaches them first is our feelings and then words. So if I have to say something to somebody, it's okay. I mean, we can give feedback and we can take feedback. That's completely okay. But it has to be done with a lot of grace and with a lot of dignity, with a lot of respect. But so many times we're already affected by it, and usually it other people's habits. It could be they're getting up late, it could be not keeping their room tidy, it could be somebody coming late, it could be somebody lying time and again, it could be anything from very small to very big. And if I get upset, then I throw a lot of negative energy at them, which then ruins the relationship completely. So, just coming back to what we were talking about, that when people are not nice to us, we can either absorb their energy or we can reflect that energy back to them. So, if they tell me something which is very rude, I say, okay, only you can speak rudely. I can also speak rudely. So, if somebody throws a brick at me, I throw back a stone at them, tit for tat. So, they say something, you're worthless, and then you know how it goes. It just back and forth, and it takes a form of argument. The whole atmosphere is ruined. There's a lot of exchange of negative energy, and relationship is these multiple arguments then create deep conflict in a relationship, which becomes very difficult to heal. It becomes a vicious cycle. So I can reflect back that energy. But the third, what I can do is that I can transform that energy. One, I can absorb it, that I become low, I become unhappy, I take all the sorrow. The second is I reflect back, that I absorb it, I become hurt, I take all the sorrow, and I give back the sorrow. I radiate that negative energy back to you. You give me black ball, I send back that same black ball to you, and then it's a ping pong game. And the third is that I choose that you can say anything that you want, but I know that when you are saying such things to me, you are not in a very elevated stage. You at this time are maybe experiencing a situation, are going through something, you may be upset, you are weak, and I choose to not get affected by your words and send you the energy of love and compassion. And I have that power to do it. And that's what heals the relationship because what you say to me is not what I feel. What you say to me, and then what I do with your words in my mind is what creates hurt. So if I don't take your words like that, that you just say you're worthless, but I tell myself, okay, just another day when they're not feeling too good, or just reflect, they're weak. Why would a powerful soul criticize? Why will a powerful soul be rude or even judge? A powerful soul will only give back feedback, advice, inspire, and that also with a lot of compassion and with a lot of love. So, if a weak soul is standing in front of me, I need to be compassionate towards them. And why I was talking about this is because I need to first check my beliefs that what is right. Is tit for tat even right? Because what I put out in the world is going to come back. I have to remember this all the time. There might be somebody who's standing right beside me and saying, say something, they will take you for granted. But I have to tell myself, no, I can't be rude because what I put in the world is going to come back tomorrow. My present is going to create my future. I must have sent some negative energy into the world which has come back today in this form. When people are not nice to us, it's very easy to say, this one is not nice, this one is not very nice. But again, why do I have so many people who are not very nice? There's some energy that I've put in the world which is coming back. My past becomes my present. And I have to lead my present in such a mindful manner, so consciously, that every energy that I put out into the world, I choose it because that's going to come back tomorrow. So I choose to be loving and peaceful, even when you choose to be critical about me or judgmental about me. I choose it. I am not weak, and it takes a lot of strength to be nice to somebody who's not nice to you. It's very easy to be nice to somebody who's nice to you. Where is the effort? You get all the pure energy and love and you radiate it back. It's very easy. It's even easy to love people who you don't know, to love the world, to have good wishes for the world. But it takes a lot of strength to be nice and loving to those people who are not very nice to you. And that's why you settle that account. It's like the black ball is coming from there, and you choose to send white, and you choose to send white and continue to send white, so that one day that black will end and that conflict in the relationship will end. But when we study spirituality on the daily level, that's when I know what is right. And that's when I have the power to do right. And it doesn't matter if I'm just standing all alone and there's the whole world on the other side. And every time you're being nice, and there will be 10, 20 people who will tell you, I'm telling you, if you're so nice, people will take you for granted. But what does even the word taking you for granted means? Taking you for granted means that people will take your advantage. And when I allow them to make me upset, when I allow them that from their one line they can disturb me, I give them that much power. That's when they're taking me for granted. I give you the power. I'm so emotionally weak that you can disturb me. That's when you're taking advantage of me. But if anybody can say anything, anything, and I can be calm and peaceful and loving and compassionate, don't you think I have achieved something? And it takes a lot of strength and a lot of power to do that. So don't let people just tell you that you're weak or you're not courageous enough to respond back. I need to know what I'm doing is right. Then I need to develop the power to do what is right, no matter what, no matter what. And then it is with so many other things in life, so many, it's not one. So, firstly, to go beyond criticism and appreciation, because let me tell you, when people are criticizing or appreciating or judging, they're reflecting their sanskars more than they're talking about you. Because very beautiful what when we study spirituality, God tells us that you're wearing shades, specs, and whatever is the color is the way you see the world. So if you're wearing red, then the whole world comes across to you as red. If you're wearing green, you see everything green. Everything may not be green. So if somebody is weak, they tend to find faults in everything. So you can have everything which is perfect. You have guests who come, you have people, everything is perfect. The house is clean, the food is okay, everything. And then also they will have that eye for the fault. So everything is okay, but they can still pick up the fault, and they're always looking for this negativity or looking for some mistake or looking for some fault in others. But that's the way they live their life. They reflect their own sanskars. That's their nature. And then we come across some people who are so gentle, or so nice, or so compassionate that there's somebody in front of them who may have so many faults and so many weaknesses, and still they have an eye for that one quality that they possess. They're always looking for that quality and appreciating and inspiring and motivating and increasing their willpower. So when people are appreciating or are being critical, they're actually not talking about you. They're reflecting their own scars. So when somebody is very appreciative in nature, that person is very nice. They're always looking for that beauty in everything. They say beauty lies in the eye of beholder. So it's their eye which is always looking for that beauty, for that quality, for something nice to talk about. And then you have the other kind of person. So we can't let our self respect depend on what people think about us. And the whole new thing which is affecting so many of us is social media. Social media is this another area where we're constantly looking for approval and appreciation. And a simple thing like I put a photo on one of the platforms, and then, we post something or we put a photo, and that's not enough. Then we wait. We wait for people to like it. And every like and every comment is feeding me, it's making me more happy. And every dislike. And it has so much impact on the mind that these big organizations who run all of this have to debate so much because it was affecting mental health of so many people that now on some of the platforms you will see that you cannot see the number of dislikes. You can see the number of likes, but you can't see the number of dislikes because when people were disliking a post or a people were disliking a video, we took it personally. It- we have to always separate. I am separate from what I do. For example, I'm a singer and I sing a song, and then I put that song on the social media platform for people to hear. I have to be prepared that there are some people who will like it and there are some people who will not like it. I met a brother who's a singer and he sings spiritual songs. He's a brother who sings other songs also, but he also likes to sing a lot of spiritual songs. And then he was like, when I sing those other kind of songs, they get a lot of likes and they get a lot of views. Or other singers, when they sing these kind of songs, which has videos, which has some form of nudity or something, they get a lot of views and they get a lot of likes. But when I sing these kind of spiritual songs, the views and the likes are pretty less. And then I asked him, but do you like what you do? He said, I love it. And then I said, then what? Then where is the problem? I am choosing to do something that I like. And I'm choosing to create music which is allowing people to connect with God. And just imagine when I create a piece of art which is helping people to connect with God or helping them in their meditations or helping them to relax or stay calm, the amount of blessings that they radiate for the other person, for the song they have sung or the music they have created. On the other hand, there could be a piece of art which might get a lot of appreciation but may not get a lot of blessings. But when we create content which is transforming people's lives, which is elevating people's consciousness, they give blessings to the other person. So I am choosing to create content which brings me blessings because I'm consciously choosing to create something which is elevating people's consciousness. I have taken this personal choice, and that's my intent to use this platform where people consciousness is elevated. And I have faith in what I'm doing, and I believe in that. And then that's it. Then my feeling should not be dependent on how many people will like it and how many people will dislike it and what people will comment. Rather, I should give enough freedom to people to give their honest feedback. So many times we're so sensitive that so many people just like everything because they know that that's going to make us feel good. And if they dislike, it's not going to make us feel very good. So they don't even give their honest feedback. And it's a very mutual thing. So they know that if we like, then tomorrow when we post something, they will also like it or comment it. So we're not being honest. We're living a very superficial life and we're just feeding on each other's digital likes and digital comments and not even allowing the other person to be very honest and to give their feedback. Have the power to put something and And it's okay if somebody doesn't like it. Like, where is the problem? Why can't I talk to myself and say, it's okay if they don't like my dress? It's okay if they don't like my art. It's okay if they don't like my painting. It's okay if they don't like what I have cooked. And it's perfectly okay if they don't like me. It's okay if I choose to live my life a certain way with certain values and principles. I have faith in them and it makes me feel comfortable and it gives me peace. It's very important that I am at peace. So I choose a certain form of life where it makes me feel peaceful, it makes me feel comfortable. I have a good night's sleep. My conscience is not pricking. I choose to live ethically and I'm fine with that. And if there is somebody who's not comfortable with that, it's their problem. So why do I want everybody to like me all the time? Because that's not going to happen. There are times when people will only like you if you do things their way, and that's not possible. We have to do right. We don't have to please people. They're two different things. We we are there. We want people to be happy with us, and we want people to be content with us. That's important. We want people who are near dear to us to be content with us, but not by doing wrong. Not by doing wrong. We don't want people to accept us and love us by doing wrong because then they love us, they accept us, but we internally feel very empty. We don't feel good. I met this police officer a couple of months ago actually, and he hasn't led his life very ethically. So he took bribes and at times he lied. And the justification that he kept giving himself was that he has two children and just by the amount of money the government was paying him was insufficient to give them good education. So to give them a very good education, to make sure that they settle abroad, he did not very good things in his profession, like he took bribes or he lied at times, and he earned money in this way. And then I said, now what? He said, both my children have studied well, they have wonderful degrees. One is settled in this country, the other is settled in this country. And externally, when people look at me, I come across as very successful. I have this medals, I've been awarded. And then I said, then where's the problem? You did wrong, but you got the results. That's what people think in the world. Even when we do wrong, where is the problem? Because externally, you see the success. You see people doing wrong, people earning money, people living a very comfortable life. He said, but I'm always living in fear. I can't sleep properly. I am always in this anxiety that what if somebody comes to know what I have done? And this fear keeps eating me that it will just take a moment for them to ruin my image. That image that I've created over the years because people think I'm a very honest policeman. I have all these medals and awards, but I know what I've done, and a lot of people who know what I have done. And I'm constantly in that fear that what if it comes out? And that's what happens when we're unethical and when we don't live life according to what is right, then there's always this feeling within, which is this conscience, which is pricking, which never allows us to feel good. So outwardly, everybody's saying, you're wonderful, but I don't feel wonderful. It's important to feel wonderful because how do we find out what is right? What is right will always make you feel peaceful. There's always peace after doing right, even if people don't approve of you, even if people reject you, even if people say nasty things about you or criticize you, but you are at peace within. Yes, there may be few negative thoughts about why they are saying this, but no negative thoughts about why I have done this. There's that conviction that what I have done is right and this is what was supposed to be done. So that peace, that feeling of peace, that feeling of comfort is very, very, very important. And we shouldn't suppress our conscience too much because the word that we say intuition means in tutor. That means there is a tutor inside who knows everything. Intuition I already know everything. I know what is right and what is wrong. And every time I try to do something which is not okay, I have this feeling of fear or feeling of this is not right. But if I suppress my conscience too much, then after a point, I don't feel it. I get used to doing wrong. For example, the first time you lie, it's never comfortable. Even if it's a small lie, like where were you? You came 30 minutes late. You were with friends and you just lied that, there was more work at the office. A small lie also is never comfortable. But over a period of time, when you suppress this conscience, you keep suppressing it, it will become a habit. And then that's how a big crime happens. A big crime happens because when the first time you read something and that intuition, that inner tutor was telling you, was trying to guide you did not listen to it and you did not transform yourself. And then it becomes a habit and then it leads to a crime. And that's where the daily spiritual study helps. The daily spiritual study keeps our intuition very active. The daily spiritual study allows us to know what is right. And that's where we can know that whether a belief system is in place, because look at the word belief. The word which lies in the belief is lie. BELIEF, lie. It's still a lie. And it will only become truth when you experiment with it and it works for you. So the whole world can say, no, anger is important, anger is necessary. But every time you get angry, you realize that it affects your health, it affects your peace of mind, it affects your relationship. Even though the work gets done, you lose everything else. Then the atmosphere is negative, you lose that relationship. Your loved ones don't want to talk to you, they have gone away, they have distanced themselves. The people you get angry on out of fear, they do things for you, but they don't think very well about you. So you receive a lot of negative energy, the opposite of blessings. So you feel very lonely and empty. And it has been affecting your health for a long time because every time you get angry, your BP will go up and your body temperature will go up and you'll become breathless. And you realize that it may be right for the world, but it's not working for me. It may be just a belief that we need anger to get things done. It doesn't work for me. I need to try the other way. Maybe I can get things done with peace and happiness and joy, and at least there'll be people around me who like me and who think well about me. So, first, we need to delve deeper into what is right. What is right for me? For me, it may not be right for you. And even if it's not right for you, that's perfectly all right. We still accept other people, even though we may not agree with each other. We still have good wishes for other people. Even two people living under the same roof, we may not agree on the same things, but we still accept and respect the other person. So even if I choose to not drink and you choose to drink, I still have good wishes and love for you. I still accept you the way you are. But this is something that does not work for me. So that's what I feel is for me personally, when I knew with conviction that this was the right thing, then I had the power to stand alone and even do it. And it didn't matter if people liked me or not. It didn't matter if people rejected, and they do reject you. They take away your privileges. It's sometimes what they say that when you move on the path of truth, it's not always bed of roses. Sometimes you have to tolerate. Sometimes, and we have ample amount of examples in the world, whether it's Gandhiji or whether it's Mother Teresa or whether it's Nelson Mandela, anybody who walked on the path of truth had to face. But in Hindi, they say a very beautiful phrase, Sach to bitho nach. The one who is walking on the path of truth is always dancing with happiness within. So outwardly, yes, you may have to tolerate some negative energy, but internally, you're always dancing in happiness. And that dancing in happiness gives you the strength to move in that direction. So it's it's time. And these are some of the thoughts on the topic. And then we can now spend some time in meditation. And then we can take up some of your questions. Um, Anything that you want to share or your experience, or you want to ask something, we can keep the platform open. Is that okay, Sister Zabeen? We move into meditation for a few minutes.
Yes, sister, thank you very much. Just a few thoughts on what you have shared today. It was really beautiful, and I don't know if the viewers today will agree with me, but I certainly feel that many a times when I get ready, I go through this that, oh, should I wear this? Because people have seen me so many times in this. So I think people who are meeting me will keep on saying that she doesn't have anything else to wear, but she wears the same clothes. So yeah, I resonated with everything that you said today. So thank you very much. But what I took from today's session was if you know what you are or how good you are and what are your setbacks, you're less likely to be affected by what others say or think about you. We need to be confident in our abilities and also know our shortcomings better than anyone else. I think we are a better judge than anyone else judging us. So, this is what we need to work upon. Yeah, sister. So, if we could have some few minutes of meditation, and then we'll move on to the question and answer session.
Okay, so sit back, sit comfortably, relax your body, and release all tension. And in this moment, reflect on your life. Check consciously. Do I take decisions based on what is right, what is comfortable for me, on the basis of my principles and values? Or am I always trying to please other people? Is my happiness dependent on them? Happiness is a state of mind. It is not what they say to me that creates happiness. It is what I do with their words in my mind that creates happiness or sorrow. I am the master of my mind, and I choose to only create happy thoughts. I understand that it is not possible for people to be always nice. There are times when they're weak, when they're going through their challenges, when they're upset, and even when they don't want, they happen to radiate negative energy. But I choose to not absorb that energy, but to transform that energy and radiate love and compassion to them. Be kind, because sometimes we don't know what other people are going through. Just have faith that originally everyone is unique and beautiful. Have faith in their innate goodness, even in their worst times. Try to see their beauty and not hold on to their mistakes, the bitter words that they said. Go beyond that. The children of God are loving and merciful and compassionate. We have the power to love ourselves and to love the world. We have the power to love those who love us and even those who are not very kind to us. In this moment, send good wishes and blessings to even those who at times have been critical of my dress, my art, my creation, my action, or even me. It is perfectly all right. There is someone who doesn't like me. As long as I am on the path of truth, as long as I'm doing right, as long as the Almighty, the ocean of knowledge, the ocean of power is content with me, because in no time other people will also understand and will respect me deeply. But no matter what, even if I have to stand alone, let me do right. Only then can I be peaceful. Only then can I respect myself. Only then can I lead a life of grace, dignity, and love. So today, let me free myself from what other people think about me and only have good wishes in my heart for them. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. That was beautiful. Thank you once again. We'll start with the questions now. The first question is the fear of being judged in itself being judgmental?
It's interesting. Yes, to a certain extent, because see, again, the fear is something which is very, very self created. Like I said, all feelings are something that we create within. So even fear is something that we create by our own negative thoughts. There are times when people are not even judging us, but we are creating these negative thoughts. Like you said, you were just saying that at times you feel that, people might think, oh, she only has this one dress. There are at times that people may not be bothered also. At times they don't even care what the other person is wearing. But at times we are into this habit of thinking negative, creating fear, and kind of judging ourselves and putting ourselves in that spot where we kind of create suffering for ourselves for no reason. There are times when we say no to people or we do something where the other person is not even thinking about it. They are fine with it, they're okay with it. We can't reach somewhere and we keep thinking, what will they think of me? I was not able to attend that. I was not able to donate there. I was not able to. So I put myself in that situation, and the other person is not even bothered. They're perfectly all right. So, yes, there are times when people are kind to us, people accept us, people are not judging us, but we, with our own thoughts, are being very judgmental and creating a lot of suffering for our own self. So, yes, we have to be careful in that direction.
I think you can even call it our inner critic. I think our inner critic is louder and talks to us more than anybody else. So, yeah,
It's
maybe we.
good to have that inner, not critic, but that inner self which is guiding us, which is not putting us down. One is like, oh, you're no good, you're worthless. But it's good to have that inner conscience which is guiding us, and that 1 second of guilt, we don't do guilt for too long, but that 1 second of realization where it tells me that, no, this was not the right way to talk to that person. You were not very, you were rude, or you were too egoistic, or you could have been kind, or you could have done this better. So that inner voice which guides me in the right direction and counsels me is very good. I think to have that is very good, to be introvert and immediately know where I went wrong. But that inner critic which criticizes and judges and puts me down, that damages my self-respect. So there's not a thin line, there's a very broad line, but we kind of shift, we kind of go wrong there.
Thank you, sister. Our next question is, can you give us a few points on how do we elevate our self-respect on a daily basis?
Self-respect is what I think about myself. So, these kind of thoughts which have become very common now, where I say, I'm a very angry person, I'm a very lazy person, my voice is only like this. So what has happened is, which is not true, I have kind of accepted. I'm lazy, I am worthless, I am no good, I keep getting angry. I'm somebody who worries a lot. So what I put after I am is something which is, that's where we have to be very careful, is something that I'm identifying with. And that's not true. That's my acquired nature. I am not originally angry or lazy or even a warrior. That's something that I've acquired. Because if that was original, then I would be comfortable with it. I'm not comfortable with it. I've just acquired that nature because maybe I've just learned it, because I've been living with those kind of people who keep affirming that day in and day night. And when I think about increasing my self respect, then I have to remind myself that I am special, unique, God's child. I am a very loving and peaceful soul. And you may say, but that is not the truth. I'm none of these. I'm not peaceful. I'm not loving. I'm not compassionate. I'm none of these. But God tells us that this is the truth. Accept the truth. Remind yourself of the truth. And what you think is something that you will become, which is in Hindi, Jaisi Smriti, Vaisi Sthiti. So if you translate into English, it is what is in your awareness will become your stage. So if it's in your awareness that I am a peaceful being, and you keep repeating it, just like you just have faith in it, and you try it for a day. Very sorry. You try it for a day. You keep telling yourself, I am a peaceful and a loving being. And you will see that even your simple actions will carry the fragrance of peace. Simple actions that even when you're cooking, or even when you're listening, or even when you're talking, or even when you're giving advice, it will carry the fragrance of love and peace. Just by being in that awareness that I am a being of peace, I am a loveful being. So that's how I see myself. That's how I identify myself with. And gradually that is my true nature. Gradually that becomes very natural. After a while, I don't have to pay attention on. The opposite of self respect is ego. And ego is not the true self, but the acquired self, where I identify with something that I've acquired. And it could be more physical, or it could be more subtle. I'll give you one example for both to just understand. The more physical could be, I am the boss, I am the father, I am the CEO. So the moment I am in the awareness of my role, then some of that traits of being a little authoritative or of being little um, bossy or being, you know, getting angry, that tends to emerge because the society has kind of put certain things with certain role. So if you're a boss, you have to get things done, you're a little authoritative or something, you know, you might control or you might create fear. So one of the external roles, the awareness of the roles, I'm a mother, I'm father, I'm boss, I'm Hindu, I am Muslim, identifying with one of the labels that I've acquired. And if I identify with one of the labels, and if somebody says anything to that label, I feel really hurt. They're not saying it to me. Self is separate from the label. I am a peaceful being. And then my religion is Hindu, Muslim, Jew, whatever. And people can have their opinion about my religion, but that's their opinion and that's their feedback. And I should be completely okay with what they have to say because what they're saying is to my religion, to my role, to my country, not to me. But when I identify with that external label, then every time I open the door to being easily hurt because I think I am this. So the separation. I am not this body. I'm not these roles. These are the roles that I'm playing, and these are all the acquired labels. And then we can have a whole session on this. But the more subtle ego, which we just talked about, is I'm an angry person. I'm such a warrior. I am depressed. I am stressed. No, that's not true. This is again acquired. I am actually very loving. I am peaceful. And these things come naturally to us. We see a little bird on the road which is hurt, and the compassion emerges. We're watching news on the television where there is violence or there's an earthquake. We feel so much compassion. So, compassion, love, and peace is our true nature, and we feel most comfortable in that. It's just we have to be more in that awareness. So, that one line, what is in my awareness will become my stage. So let me be in a very elevated awareness, maybe just one line. I am a peaceful and loving soul. Just one. Practice with this for a week. Play with this, and your whole life will change.
I think what we need to do is just build a habit by repeating this to ourselves each and every time, or sometimes when we again get our negative thought, remind ourselves that this is not who I am. Last question. There's a lot of fear of COVID. So, how do we overcome this fear, sister?
This is now we can say that this is not the first time that we are facing this paper. Usually, for most countries, it's the third wave. So when you give the paper for the third time, we should be very prepared for it. So the thing which everybody has been telling us that take precautions but don't panic. The fear is in the mind. And the mind is saying, what if I get COVID? What if my family get COVID? What will happen to them? It's the thoughts. It's every single thought which is creating the fear. I have to keep reminding myself that there is an external situation which we can't do anything about it. So we have to take precautions on two levels, the physical level and at the mental level. And we have become wonderful at taking physical precautions, all of us. So we know what to eat, we know what to drink, we know that we need to wear a mask. We've all taken vaccinations, we're all going for the booster dose, and wonderful, it's needed, and we're doing it. And we learned it that we need to protect ourselves. One of the best lessons that I saw from the COVID was, for me personally, which I realized, was that COVID was something where we realized after a point of time that we have no control on this virus, and we all brought the focus on the self. What can I do? First at the physical level, whether it was the government, whether it was the people, we allowed the virus to be because we knew we can't do anything about it. So we just started thinking, what can I do? How can I protect myself? And that's what's supposed to be in every situation. Every situation. We don't think about the situation. We think about, what can I do? What is my next right move? How do I face this situation? So in the world, we saw first the external precautions, whether it was sanitizing, mask. You saw the doctors, they did not run away and sat in their homes. They were there on the fields helping people, but they were wearing double masks and they were wearing their gowns and everything. They protected themselves. And then we have to protect our minds, not just the physical health, that's important, but our minds. We have to make sure that we think right. And a lot of our thinking is dependent on what we are seeing, hearing, and watching. So if you consume a lot of content on television, which is day in and day night talking about there is spike and there is uh, this much number has increased and this much, then what will happen? All that news will start playing in your mind. And then your thoughts will be like, Acha, now this one has also got COVID. These many numbers have increased. There's a lockdown in that country. There is this, there is this. That creates fear. So it's good to have the information so we know what precautions to take. I suggest even that information that we're taking, if we can avoid the television or the where we can see, it's good to read it, because when you read it you don't pick up the emotion, because most of the time when you're watching it, it's put across in such a way that they're threatening you or creating all the fear. So when you read it, you don't pick up the emotion, you just pick up the information. There's a huge difference. So when I read, I just take the information, I know where and how, what precautions to take. The second is, what is the worst thing that can happen? The worst is that I get infected by the virus. That's the worst. See the scene in your mind. The fear is always because we are fearing something in the future. Just see it once. If it happens to me or to any of my family members, see yourself. I'm totally calm. I accept the situation and I do everything that is necessary to get out of it. See yourself in the isolation, spending those 7 days in perfect ease, spending your days in studying, in elevating yourself, in thinking right, not worrying, not see the scene, prepare your mind for it. We are not invoking it. This is not called invoking. For example, you go through a rainy season, you step out of your house, you carry an umbrella. When you carry an umbrella, you're not invoking rain. You're just being careful that it's a rainy season and there is a chance that there might be rain. So I am going to carry an umbrella with me because this is going to be my safety, my protection. When you move out for a long trip, you make sure that you have a spare tire. You're not invoking an accident, you're not invoking a puncture. This is just uh, common sense, or this is just being not even common sense, it's just protecting yourself, that I need to carry that spare tire, that in case if something happens, it's a very long journey, then I have a spare tire that I can change. Similarly, when we see so many people are getting infected, then we can't live in our house all the time. So we have to go out to buy groceries. We have to go out for some important work. We're taking precautions. We're taking all the physical precautions. And we're not creating any fear. What if it happens to me? What if it happens to my family? But at the same time, if I get it, if I pick up the virus, I mean, that's what I think, it's okay. You see the scene, it's okay. The worst is that it can happen. It's okay. I will deal with it when it happens, because then I have the power to actually face the situation. Otherwise, by creating all the fear, I deplete all my energy, and God forbids, if the situation comes in front of me, I have no power left to face it. So we don't invoke it, we take all the precautions, but we also prepare ourselves for the worst, because once we have prepared ourselves for the worst, then the fear goes away. The fear goes away when you've prepared yourself for the worst, the fear leaves you and you're ready to face the situation head on. That's what I think.
Thank you, sister. That was beautiful. How our thoughts can also deplete our immune system of the body. So, thank you very much. That was very, very helpful. And thank you, everyone, for joining us today. I have dropped my number on the chat box, so feel free to drop me a message if you would like to be informed for the future sessions that will come along. Until then, stay safe and stay blessed and stay healthy, like Sister Shreya told us today. Thank you once again, Sister, for today's session.
Thank
Uh,
you so much. Thank you, everyone who's been here.
thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti.